Chamber time, baby. Come on. Back to the island, Limerick crew, Belfast crew, what?
We delayed the interview here tonight because Lee had to get changed and look beautiful. So here he is in his turtleneck.
I don't know about looking beautiful, but I definitely got changed.
You feel beautiful though.
And the inside.
It's your second pro fight this year, which is not as busy as you'd like.
No.
But to be fair to you, you took this fight against White tonight at short notice.
Yeah.
And as early as the second round, you were still dominating. You had him cornered. And it was just a matter of you taking it from there.
For sure. Like Instagram might show me training a lot and putting work in and stuff like that, but that's for the people outside. But for me, I do class myself as a true professional inside the ring and outside of the ring. I live the life and I put the work in, and I'm addicted to becoming the best version of myself. So when Lee gave me 18 days notice for the fight, I said no problem. And like a lot of people see me and it's like, you're a massive 140 pounder. So for the consistency I need to have with my training to be able to make that weight in 3 weeks and to be able to perform for 10 rounds and 12 rounds in that physique, pushing hard in fifth gear, I think is a testament to my training and my conditioning. No, I definitely wasn't as busy as I would have liked to have been.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that I'm out before the end of the year so I can enjoy my Christmas.
Because I feel like, it's a huge effort coming over here for a fight like this, getting prepared, climate change, food change, that sort of stuff. You've a bit of jet lag. Would you have liked to have gone a couple extra rounds? Because you've literally come the distance tonight, but, in the ring itself, you were very dominant. And testament to yourself, Lee, you don't have to prove to anyone that you lived the lifestyle outside the ring too, because at such short notice, you were in ridiculous shape and you dominated.
Yeah. And to be honest, this guy's first fight at 140. He fought at 154, 160, fought like big guys, and has only been stopped by one unbeaten super welterweight guy who's classed as a massive puncher. Never been stopped, and everybody that sparred him and that was around him said, this kid's a dog and he's gonna drag you into a dog fight. So I was ultimately prepared for 8 rounds of like hard work. But people don't understand like that. I might look skinny and I might look timid, but I pack a punch and I have the conditioning to punch you hard and continue to punch you hard and punch you frequently for the 8 rounds while working defense, offense and stuff like that. So it's a testament to my hard work that I'm getting them out of there. Sorry for rambling on, but you asked like what I like for it to go on longer. I'd love for it to go on longer on the grounds that I'd burn more calories so I can eat more pizza tonight. But you don't get paid for overtime in this sport, and any second that you're in there, you're taking a risk with your life and health. So if I can get people out of there, I'm gonna, and it's good for the fans to get people out of there too.
Of course. So with this year not been as busy as you liked, but it's still been a successful year for you at home and abroad.
So
what's the plan now for 2023?
the first plan is to enjoy my Christmas. I've had 7 months of training for fights that fell through, that went up and down, and on like a lot of unknown and stressful times. So just have a week to recharge and be ready in the New Year's to get back into training and to just get tunnel vision. And I'd like to be out I'm 10 victories now. I'd like to be 6 more fights before December 2023.
Now Lee, I know obviously you've got a serious fan base in Limerick. That is your home. You're very proud of living in Limerick. You train up in Belfast, so you've kind of got Ireland covered north and south in that respect.
Yeah.
Will it come to a point that you might have to look at moving somewhere else to continue your journey? You're 26 now. We saw a man fight tonight. He went the distance at the age of 47.
Yeah.
I know you're not looking that far ahead just yet, but are you thinking that you might have to move a little bit and get out of your comfort zone of back home, where you do obviously have some great sparring partners and friends and coaches, that sort of thing, but will there have to come a time where you might have to push the boundaries a little bit further?
Well, I believe that I'm totally pushing the boundaries as it is being in Belfast. Belfast isn't my home. Limerick is my home. It's a 4-hour drive from Limerick to Belfast. I'm up there training. I'm away from my family, from my friends, from my home luxuries, and I'm getting some excellent sparring up there. I have the fabulous mind of D. Waldo Walsh is in my corner, and he set up the game plan for this fight. Thankfully, Billy Mount was able to step in and look after, because they ended up getting refused at the airport, which was mentally very difficult.
Yeah, of course.
Like this was supposed to be the toughest test of my career, and I respect and I listen to D, and what he says goes. So then I
was he in contact with you just before the fight?
Text me, give me the game plan, and I was repeating it in my head, and I was listening to Billy, some tips from Billy too, and I'm just grateful to have good people around me in this sport, because I can only do so much in the ring, but you need them outside eyes too.
Is there some pieces of that game plan you can kind of let us know about, or is a lot of that confidential, or maybe you can give us a kind of more generic format of how you take on a fight like this? Because what I know about your opponent White that you had tonight, he actually, you didn't know much about him before this, or you didn't even know much about him. So what was the game plan then? Well, what can you divulge?
Obviously, like he was going distance with super welterweight, like good fighters, like, so he obviously was like a very durable opponent, and a very dog fighter. So we knew coming into it that he was going to be pushing hard. So that's all that I know. Just that, like, he was going to be a dog, and I was going to be ready for 8 rounds of hard pushing. So with my coach D back home, it was like, as soon as the bell rings, you need to get on your jab. Just keep him thinking, because he's going to dip, he's going to let big shots come, he's going to try get in the inside. Keep him on your jab, and then once them hands start coming forward, start whipping around the guard, and then when he comes close, tie him up. And like me and D was saying it, like, we're going to tie him up, we're going to turn him.
Reeves can beat Errol Spence any day.
Ooh, I like that.
You'll take his titles.
God willing. Well, I'm 140, so I need them guys at 140.
Okay. This Terrence Crawford, he's coming for that smoke.
Yeah, 100%.
Lee Reeves, man, he's about to smoke.
I am the can man. Any man can
beautiful.
Get it. Thank you, brother.
He's crazy. He's like the man.
We
Irish
get that.
pop.
Yes, sir. 100%. So yeah, I'm just
Cheers to Barry White there in the background.
So I'm just grateful to have the mind of D, because I can, like, I class myself as having a very high boxing IQ, but like, as a fighter, you doubt, you don't know, like, will this work, won't this work? So when you have the coach like D, like, giving you a game plan, they're like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. So I trust in D.
How much more does D advise you on as best he can in terms of the managing of other aspects of your life? Because from me getting to know you, you have such a great narrow viewpoint of where you want to go in your training, your mentality on the sport, and just of how the people around you will be in your circle, and you keep your circle nice and tight.
Yes.
What I'm very impressed by you in the last while, I suppose I'm even more impressed by some of the agencies back in Ireland, but they're actually going for actual athletes to do, commercial modelling, to do some sportswear work, that sort of stuff, and some fashion shows. You're a perfect fit for that sort of stuff, and it's a testament to you. But how does that come in now, if that's getting busier with your main goal, which is obviously you focus on your boxing? How does that affect, and is there anyone else along with D that can kind of advise you on that, or is that just down to yourself?
D strictly stays the boxing. He's a true professional. Like, he doesn't care what happens outside the gym. He's just like, I'm here with you. If I needed advice, I'd ask him, and he'd be happy. He's a mate first, but boxing is totally D's forte. And that's what he advises me on, just boxing, and he doesn't get involved in the management stuff or the finance stuff or the ins and outs. He's just like boxing totally. And with the modelling, it was actually nothing got to do with being an athlete at all. It was because I was a sexy bastard. It actually had nothing got to do with being
Heard
an
it here
athlete.
first. In case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I think I had a bit of an Instagram following, and I looked decent in pictures, so they were like, Joanna, it had nothing got to do with me being an athlete. But
finally, they actually have athletes who are athletes.
Yeah.
With sports gear. Not like people pretending to be athletes.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah, finally.
There's a big difference.
Yeah, but I was on the Guinness ad as well. I'm not an alcoholic, so But with that.
So, well, speaking of ads too, you don't eat a lot of snack boxes, but the odd one here and there.
I fucking love Supermax. Supermax is.
But it's not every day.
No, it's not every day. But like balance, life's all about balance. But with the whole balance of modeling and making money through that while boxing, it's a great thing because you get a day here and a day there, and it doesn't affect your training. And if it did affect my training, I would give that up straight away because
that's your focus.
Training comes first. And if I'm ever getting beat up in sparring, or if I'm ever not performing to my ability because of cut corners in any other way, I'd cut them ties. Whether it's a girlfriend or whether it's a late night of work, I wouldn't do it if it affected my ability in the ring, because that's number one to me.
You've broken a lot of hearts, Lee.
No.
Okay, the last thing I was going to ask you was, there's been rumours that there might be some work in the TV field. How do you think that would affect your boxing? Do you think it would help your boxing in terms of the marketing side of things? Or because boxing is your number one love and your number one dedication, is there going to be... are we going to see more of you on the screens, or what's the plan there?
I've been approached by a couple of different agencies in the videography industry and the TV stuff, and just like it's definitely something that I feel like I have the ability to do, like to be behind the screen and to be looking good and speaking good and to be entertaining to the public. But also, if it was something like that was a show where you abuse your body and like you lose years off your life by abusing your body, I don't think it would work obviously massively with like social media presence and building to get brands on board and stuff like that, and could have a domino effect. But I think if the purpose of the show was just like shagging and drinking, I don't think that's for me. But if I could get behind the show that like wasn't just that, I think you could definitely see me on TV doing something like that, because I am the can man. I can do anything.
I mean, personally, I think it's time that they change some of the formats of these TV shows.
Sure.
It's the same stuff that's been railroaded over and over again. And there's many examples nowadays of athletes such as yourself and other people that are doing actually good work, God's work, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that doesn't get enough attention, to be honest. And I think it's kind of a pity, but it's a chat for another day. Lee, have you any plans before you go back home to Ireland here in Toronto?
Me and my mate down here, we got 24 hours before we fly out. So the job is to do a food review thing of just like fucking doing it all. Chicken sandwiches, some pizza, some ice cream, just fucking sampling the finest goods of Toronto that we don't have back in Limerick, you know what I mean? So,
But Limerick's a great city for food too.
Limerick's unbelievable for food, but the stuff that we don't have there, I want to try before I go back home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So food.
Best of luck with that.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. God bless. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Lee.